it's been just over 15 years since the Port Arthur massacre and the introduction of some of the toughest gun laws in our nation's history. So where's gun control at now? After the tragedy at Port Arthur, the federal government brought back hundreds of thousands of firearms aimed at stopping future mass shootings.
This is a very important step to making the streets of Australia safer.
But now, 15 years on, Australians are buying guns at an almost unprecedented rate. In New South Wales, there are almost 190,000 people on the police firearms register. In Queensland, 50,000 guns were added to the registry over the past 18 months. And in the last financial year, over 85,000 guns were imported into Australia. Add up all the numbers for state registries, and there are about 2.7 million registered guns in the country. But Crimtrack, the National Police Information Sharing Service, believes the figure is almost double that. Figures on illegal firearms are disturbingly murky. Remarkably, gun crime nationwide is actually decreasing. Hard to imagine with constant news reports of shootings. So with the increase in ownership across the country and no solid figures on just how many guns are out there, has the government dropped the ball on gun control? Greens MP David Shoebridge is concerned about the growing number of guns in the community. David, why is there now an increase in gun ownership in Australia?
Well, we've seen it around the country, a push to have this kind of idea of a right to arms, a right to guns, and we've really imported that from the United States. And that's led to different state legislatures in the last decade weakening our gun laws, responding to this pro-gun lobby, and we've seen the increase in guns in circulation.
I got to ask you, guns in circulation up, yeah, but gun deaths, gun crime down. So does it matter?
Well, it does matter because we've had a series of responses to gun crime and gun deaths. We've had improvements in the ways weapons are stored at home, and there's been a concerted campaign to reduce gun deaths. Now, working against that over the last decade has been this ongoing increase in gun numbers. If they were both going in the same direction, we would have an even more dramatic reduction in gun crime.
But you think that, but you've got no evidence for that.
Well, it's not just me speaking about gun laws. The New South Wales Police and other police authorities around the country are dead against any watering down in gun laws and any increase in access to guns here across the country.
David, how do you actually get a gun? You know, I want to go duck shooting. How do I go about getting a gun?
Well, unfortunately, you can go duck shooting in Victoria and in New South Wales. You go down here in New South Wales, you go to your local gun club, they've got forms you fill out, you do some basic tests, you get a police check, and within a couple of weeks you get yourself a gun licence and can then apply to get a gun.
Just to clarify, I don't want to go duck shooting, I just wondered how easy it was.
No, that's all right.
If I wanted a gun for a different purpose, let's call it revenge, but I said I wanted it for duck hunting, is there any way anyone would know?
No checks. There are no checks at all about your so-called reasonable or legitimate purpose. You just have to say what you want it for. You might want to just go out and blast furry animals in a state forest here in New South Wales. You write that down, you then get access to your weapon here in New South Wales, and the same around the country.
I'm just curious to know that the stats show a number of legal guns and a huge number of illegal guns. Where are all these guns coming from? How are they getting into the country?
The principal source for legal gun imports is the United States, and again, that's part of that gun culture. We actually are realistically and genuinely importing the gun culture one weapon at a time from the United States. But in terms of illegal weapons, no one really knows how many are in circulation. I think estimates vary from, you know, as little as 50,000 to almost 6 million illegal guns in circulation. But it's likely they're following the same route into the country. And also, there's increasing gun thefts here from licensed gun holders. So what starts as a licensed gun in legal circulation gets stolen by crime and then goes into that ever-increasing pool of illegal guns.
Well, it's been great to chat to you tonight, David. Thanks so much for your time.
No, it's a pleasure. Good speaking.
Got to take a quick break right now. Back with more after this.
Coming up, Canteen Mums are without